And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for Game 2 here between ICC and Gulf Coast. If you're just now joining us, ICC picked up a 3-1 win in the first game of the day, as Gulf Coast will start us off here in Game 2 as we're waiting that First American National Bank opening pitch. We're also going to try to have some live look-ins at baseball today. They lead it 1-0 right now over Hines after a solo home run by Jackson Lancaster. The First American National Bank opening pitch goes for a strike, and it comes your way at 2:16. That's at 2:16. First American National Bank opening pitch. Follow the flag from Iuka to Tupelo. That's First American National Bank. Is that pitch missing high and outside for a ball? Bailey Massey, Brianna Shores, and Marsha Hunt all due up here for Gulf Coast in the top of the first inning. Kaylee Nelson in the circle here for ICC. 1-1 is the count. This pitch fouled back. The count now goes 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here as Massey is leading us off. Remind you that you can keep up with the games, baseball and softball, on Twitter. As that pitch missing low for a ball. 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and no outs. Massey starting us off here. Coming into this series, Massey batting .333, .493 on base percentage, and .412 is her slugging. A liner, and it's going to be a fair ball. This should go for extra bases to start the contest, and Massey, plenty of speed to burn, will get a double, and that was a blistering shot down the line. Kreider tried to make a leaping effort, couldn't get to it, and so that will go for a leadoff double by Massey. A big-time start to the contest there for the Bulldogs, and you saw the speed of Massey. She's got a lot of it, so you imagine if anything hit to the gap or a base hit could flirt with the possibility of scoring a run here early on. So now with no outs and a runner on second, this is going to be Brianna Shores, the third baseman. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes it for a strike. 0-1 now is the count. For Shores, she's batting .299 coming into this series, .367 on base percentage, and she's got a .425 slugging percentage. As that pitch missing low and inside. 1-1 now is the count. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner on second, no outs. And she gets hit by the pitch. So a pretty positive start to the contest here for Gulf Coast. Runners on first and second with no outs now. And this is going to bring Hunt to the plate. Hunt playing first base. She did not get in the first game of the day, but we'll try to get some action here in Game 2. So I'm going to come over and talk to the batter here. Gulf Coast, they dropped the first game of the day. They're going to try to earn a split here in Game 2. The infield shifting around a little bit. The first baseman coming in, the corners coming in, if you will. Anticipating the bunt here. So Nelson looking for the first out of the inning, shows bunt, pulls back and takes that one for a ball. So 1-0 is the count. Here to Marsha Hunt. Bunt is laid down. There's only going to be one play, and it's to first, and it's in time for the putout. 3-4 on that sacrifice bunt. Brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. The ICC BSU, they meet Monday nights at 7:07, Wednesdays at lunch. Hit them up on Twitter and thank them for sponsoring today's broadcast at ICC BSU. That's at ICC BSU. So now with 1 out after that sacrifice bunt, runners on second and third, this is going to bring up Cameron Williams, the DP. Williams takes that first pitch, cross for a strike. Well, the umpire giving a little bit leeway there on the left side of the plate. 0-1 is the count. And that one just falls off the table a bit too soon for the umpire's liking. 1-1 now goes the count here to Cameron Williams. You got a runner at second and a runner at third. It was Bailey Massey who started the contest with a double. She's standing at third. Brianna Shores is at second after being hit by a pitch. Checked her swing. She did not go, and now 2-1 is the count. This is a number, and the third baseman is going to come over and get the out. Well, a good pitch that time by Nelson in on the hands of the batter. Got the pop-up for out number 2, and my, oh my, if the Indians can find a way to get out of this jam early, it could be big here for getting a little bit of momentum on their side. We'll check on the baseball game in between innings. And we'll also give you today's Coca-Cola starting lineups for both teams in between innings. Grounder back to the pitcher. This could do it, and it will. Big-time job there by Kaylee Nelson to retire the last 3 batters and get out of the jam there. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base as we'll get ready now to shift to the bottom of the first. All right, let's go take a look at some of the baseball action while we talk about today's starting lineups for Coke. ICC leading it right now 1-0 there in game 1 against Hines. So let's take a look at today's starting lineups for Gulf Coast. We've already introduced you to the first 5 batters. Bailey Massey, the center fielder. Brianna Shores, the third baseman. Marcia Hunt, the first baseman. Cameron Williams, the DP. And Katie Beth Williams, the shortstop. Then it's going to be batting in the 6 spots. Kinsey Nichols, she's playing in left field. Hannah Hembry will be catching and batting 7th. Batting 8th will be the second baseman, Betty Mingo. And batting 9th will be Caitlin McGooey. In the circle here for Gulf Coast in Game 2 is going to be Avery Sanders. She is 7-3 on the year with a save. She's pitched 62 innings, has given up 43 hits, 22 runs, 15 of those earned. She's walked 31, struck out 72. She has a 1.69 ERA, so that's the best ERA on the team by far. And now for your Coca-Cola starting lineups for your ICC Indians. ICC and Coke. Now that's a winning combination, and Coach Andy Kirk hope he's got that winning combination put together again here in Game 2. Here is your lineup. Maddie Miney will be leading us off. She's playing shortstop. Rachel Cernicio, she'll be at second base, batting second. Batting third will be Samantha Conley catching. Batting fourth will be Summer Kreider. She'll be at third base. Batting fifth will be the DP, Macy Cox. Then you'll have Casey Carpenter batting sixth. She'll be at first base. Batting seventh and playing in left field is Joanna Vasquez. Jessica Davis, she'll be batting eighth and playing in right field. And the birthday girl, Hope Harbin, will be batting ninth, playing in center field. That is today's Coca-Cola starting lineups. ICC and Coke, now that's a winning combination. And we do want to thank the Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works for sponsoring today's broadcast and being a big, proud sponsor of ICC Athletics and Itawamba Community College. So now back to live action here as we break away from the baseball game. This is going to be Maddie Miney as she takes that first pitch. Boy, I tell you what, if that outside corner is there all day today like that, pitchers are going to love that strike zone. We saw a strike call that way for ICC, so at the end of the day, you just kind of hope it ends up being a consistent strike zone. That pitch missing low and outside. 1-1 now is the count here to Maddie Miney. Well, I know her Aunt Tammy is watching up in Iowa, I believe, getting 4 inches of snow. So while she is enjoying the snow and seeing the count go 2-1 here on Maddie Miney, we got Chamber of Commerce like weather here this afternoon in Fulton. High 70s, low 80s, breezy as clouds do start to pop up here. As that pitch missing outside, 3-1 now is the count to Maddie Miney. We'll be checking back and forth with baseball throughout the day. Jeremy Kennedy has the call of that one. It's over there on the Red Channel if you would like to check it out as they're playing 2 against Hines. 3-1 pitch coming. And that one across for a strike. Miney not necessarily liking that one. 3-2 now goes the count here on Maddie. Well, some clouds starting to blow up into the area. It was clear skies earlier, but no dark clouds. 3-2 pitch coming, and that's going to be strike 3. Wow. Well, if he's going to give you that, you're going to have to figure out a way to go with those pitches, and As we said, the pitchers are going to absolutely love it.
Next up for ICC, number 20.
As that one was in the other batter's box. And we're going to say this, a pitcher like Avery Sanders, she doesn't really need a whole lot of help, as that one across for a strike as well. It's kind of what happened against Jones. They had an expanded strike zone, and Sanders was able to eat up strikes all day. A change-up that falls off the table a little bit too low. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here. As this is Rachel Stranisha at the plate for the Indians. She looks at that one low. 2-1 now is the count. (3-1) was the score in Game 1. ICC got the win. We're in the bottom of the first. Scoreless here in Game 2. And that pitch missing low. 3-1 now is the count. And that's where it went with Miney in the previous at-bat. Then a couple of extended pitches. Was able to get her looking at the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day. That one right down the middle for a strike. 3-2 now is the count. So you go from one game where the strike zone was about the size of a shoebox and a half, and this one about the size of, swung on and missed for strike 3. Yeah, I'm saying you just got to swing the bat today if you're ICC. Wow. So 2 outs now, and this is going to be Samantha Conley.
Number 11.
And of course, I'm not saying there's any difference in the game right now for the fans that are watching of Gulf Coast. I'm just saying a drastic change in the strike zone from Game 1 to Game 2. What was a hitter's strike zone in Game 1 has now become a pitcher's strike zone here in Game 2. 1-0 is the count here to Conley. That one right down the middle. 1-1 now is the count. Well, right now, if you're ICC, you may just want to take a little extra time, step out of the batter's box, and see if you can throw off Avery Sanders' rhythm here as she is dealing early. 2 outs, nobody on, as that pitch finds the strike zone. 1-2 is the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs and nobody on here. Conley at the plate. That one falls off the table a bit too soon. He was at the count now at 2-2. If Conley were to find a way on, then it'd be Summer Kreider up next. Gulf Coast fans want to see her come up in the bottom half of the second. Ground ball, foul ball, and we'll stay at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Nobody on here for the Indians. Scoreless as we're in the bottom of the first, Game 2 here between ICC and Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast trying to find a way to earn a split here in Fulton this afternoon. And swung on and missed for strike 3. So she strikes out the side. And a great start to the contest there for Avery Sanders. 3 Renaissance Bank strikeouts against the first 3 batters she's seen today. We've played 1, and ICC Gulf Coast are scoreless. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association. At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the second inning. Kaylee Nelson still in the circle here for ICC. Let's go inside the numbers and take a look at her Sonic stats. She's 7-3 on the year. She has pitched 74 innings, has given up 55 hits, 40 runs, 33 of those earned. She's walked 50, has struck out 45. She has a 3.12 ERA. So now to be the 6, 7, 8 batters due up here. Nichols, Hembry, and Mingo due up for the Bulldogs. Well, the Bulldogs put runners in scoring position, but ICC was able to pitch out of a jam as that pitch swung on a miss for a strike. That pitch missing high. 1-1 now is the count. So 1 ball and 1 strike, as that one falls off the table just a bit too soon. So 2-1 is the count now here to Kenzie Nichols. Nichols jams her, and it's going to be out to the right fielder, and she makes the catch. Well, made it right about knee high as she was running up to the ball that time and gets it for the out. As the wind kind of just carried that one away a little bit for Jessica Davis, she was able to find it for out number 1. And now this will bring up the catcher, Hannah Hembry. So Hembry coming to the plate for the first time today. Impressive start to the contest for Avery Sanders. She saw 3 batters and struck them all out for a 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the first. Gulf Coast in the top of the first. Got a double by Massey to lead off the inning, then a hit batter to Brianna Shores. A sacrifice bunt pushed them over to second and third. Then it was a pop-up to the third baseman, and then a grounder right back to the pitcher to get the Indians out of the jam. That was in the top of the first. Ground ball, blistered, but a diving stop there at second base to throw over is in time. Well, a nice play that time by Rachel Sternisha. Made the diving effort to stop the ball, picked it up, and threw it over from her knees for out number 2. And now this is going to bring up Betty Mingo. So Mingo is the second baseman, batting in that 8 spot.
Now batting with 2 outs, second baseman number 15, Betty Mingo.
So Mingo will come to the plate trying to spark a 2-out rally here for the Bulldogs. Mingo looks at that first pitch, high for a ball, gets away from the catcher, nobody on base to worry about as that goes for 1-0 count. So 1-0 is the count here to Mingo. That one missing high and outside. Ball 2, 2-0 now goes the count. Once again, as we said in Game 1, we do want to say again here in Game 2, a special hello to all those Gulf Coast fans watching here on the ICC Sports Network. And as always, welcome to the ICC family, as this is going to be a ground ball, foul ball as they come off her foot. 2-1 now is the count. Well, Indians looking for a 3 up, 3 down inning here to see if they can get back to the plates and figure out the riddle that is Avery Sanders so far in the contest. 2-1, pitch coming. And that one drifts a little high. 3-1 now is the count. There is 2 outs. They fly out to right field and a ground ball to second. And the first 2 batters here is now Betty Mingo. The hitters count 3-1. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the second, scoreless. And there's ball 4. A changeup that fell off the table just a bit too soon. And the first walk of the day issued by Nelson. Now this will bring up Caitlin McGooey. So McGooey will dig in. Runner at first and 2 out. She is the number 9 batter, so she finds a way on. Then we'll go back to Bailey Massey, who doubled in her first at bat. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. Right now, if you're Nelson, you just want to find that zone here after struggling a little bit to the previous batter, Mingo. There's a ground ball, and it's going to get off the glove of a diving third baseman, so that's going to go for a hit there for McGooey, the second hit of the day. Nice effort on the part of the third baseman. That was Summer Kreider trying to get to the ball. That was just blistered and just enough away from her.
Leadoff hitter, number 1, Bailey to Massey.
And so now Gulf Coast trying to spark a 2-out rally. We saw that it scored 2 runs for the Indians in game 1 in their 3-1 victory. Come up with some clutch 2-out hits. So now 2 outs in the inning. And there's a pitch that just drops right back in the zone there for a strike. And 0-1 now is the count. This is Bailey Massey. As we said, Massey doubled in her first at bat of the game. Gulf Coast fans would love to see her do that again. Nice pitch inside that time. Swung on a miss for strike 2. And Massey upset with herself as she thought she chased a bad one. 0-2 now is the count here to Massey. Got to protect the plate. Can ICC get out of another small jam here? They were in a big-time jam in the top of the first with runners on second and third. Got a way out of it. Now with runners on first and second with 2 outs. That pitch skips across. Conley does a great job of blocking that one up. 1-2 now goes the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runners on first and second here for Gulf Coast. Mingo is at second. Magui is at first. 1-2 pitch coming. Grounder going to have to hurry because Massey's got good speed. Throw over. Is not in time, so that's going to go for an infield single. It's just one of those situations. It was a slow enough roller that with the speed of Massey, there wasn't a whole lot you could do about that. If you're Rachel Stranisha, you almost had to have been playing in that situation. But with 2 outs, it really was not that time. So now bases are loaded for Gulf Coast. 2 outs. And this is going to be Shores. She was hit by a pitch and left stranded at second in her previous at-bat. Ball in the dirt, blocked up nicely that time by Samantha Conley. So Shores playing third base, and Conley wants to come out and talk to her pitcher here to kind of just calm her down for a second. But as you see, bases are loaded here. Since we've got 2 broadcasts going today, we're having to switch to our webcam, so it's not as clear whenever it gets cloudy like this, so it kind of starts bouncing off the clouds, if you will. So Gulf Coast trying to get that merry-go-round spinning here with 2 outs. However, ICC looking for the exit. 1-0 is the count here to Shores. That pitch in there for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Bases full of Bulldogs here. Top of the second. Scoreless so far, but the Bulldogs looking to break it open. Shores at the plate. And she's hit by a pitch, and that will plate the run. For the second time she's hit by a pitch today, and Gulf Coast now takes a 1-0 lead on a bases-loaded hit batter. And she will head down to first. The umpire's going to check on her. She gives him a thumbs up, says, "I'm good to go." So a gift there for the Bulldogs. And now here comes trouble in Marche Hunt. Don texted in, said her name's Marche. So appreciate Don let us know that. The SID down there at Gulf Coast. So 2 outs, 1 run has scored here for the Bulldogs.
Number 25, Marche Hunt.
So Hunt at the plate. She's playing first base. Had a sacrifice bunt in her first at-bat as that pitch missing low for a ball. Like the Indians going to send some folks to the bullpen here to start getting loose. Butler, Swallers, and also Stanton going to the bullpen as a swung on and miss for a strike. A healthy swing there for Hunt, but she comes up empty. There's 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Bulldogs. Gulf Coast trying to earn a split after dropping the first game of the day 3-1. As that one missing low for a ball. 2-1 now goes the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. And 2 outs. Gulf Coast is struck for 1, looking for more. 2-1 pitch coming. Fouled out of play, and 2-2 now goes the count. Shores was hit by a pitch for the second time today, and that pushed across Betty Mingo. And so that's the score now, 1-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Bulldogs. Pitch coming, grounder, and it's going to be a foul ball. Well, good job by Hunt that time. She reached out to find a piece of it. and was able to get enough of it to foul it off and keep the at-bat alive here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 1-0. Gulf Coast with the lead here in the top of the second inning. So waiting the 2-2 pitch here from Nelson. And it's going to be a liner, and it's going to be caught. What a play out there in center field by Hope Harbin. If she doesn't make that play, 2, maybe even 3 runs score for the Bulldogs. So a big-time play there for ICC. A line out to center field to end the inning. A diving catch by Hope Harbin, the birthday girl, to end the inning there. So ICC sees the Bulldogs push 1 run across on 2 hits and 3 left stranded, 2 of those in scoring position here in the top of the second. We'll take a break, and we come back with the bottom half of the inning. It'll be Summer Kreider, Macy Cox, and Casey Carpenter due up here for ICC. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion, or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton, or online davisfordsales.com.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU.
Well, we'll come back to that commercial here in a moment, as they are wasting no time here between innings. As this is Summer Kreider at the plate, and she is facing Avery Sanders, who struck out the first 3 batters she saw. She picked up a run there in the top of the second, and the way she's dealing today, that may be all she needs. As that pitch missing high for a ball. Summer Kreider comes into this series batting .306. She's got a .385 on base percentage. .604 is her slugging percentage. That pitch goes high. 2-1 now is the count here to Summer Kreider. Macy Cox, the DP, is on deck, and Casey Carpenter, the first baseman, is in the hole. It's 2-0 ICC with the lead over Hines in baseball. That's over on the Red Channel if you want to go check it out or jump in between broadcasts. Jeremy Kennedy with the call over there at baseball. 2-1 pitch coming. Kreider pops this one up right side. Right fielder's going to have to chase in a hurry, and it's just going to get out of play. The wind helped that one big time for the Indians, as it just carried it as it bounced off the top of the fence, out of play. Nothing but a long strike there. So a big-time break there for ICC as the right fielder, Caitlin McGooey, had a pretty good break on the ball, and if it would have stayed in play, I think she would have had a chance, actually, at making a play for the out, but ICC catches a break. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and no outs as Summer Kreider is starting us off here in the bottom of the second. 1-0, Gulf Coast with the lead. Kreider swinging at the changeup and missing. 4 straight Renaissance Bank strikeouts here for Avery Sanders. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com, member FDIC. And now up is going to be Macy Cox.
Player number 30, Macy Cox.
That pitch going to miss low and outside for a ball here to Macy Cox. So 4 batters have come to the plate for ICC, and they have all been given the chair, as they have. Avery Sanders has set down all 4 batters as that pitch missing low. 2-0 now is the count here to Macy Cox. Macy swings on this one, fouls it out of play. 2-1 now is the count here to Macy Cox. She's out of Troy, Tennessee. She's got a lot of her family here. Some of the family is out in Virginia. Benny and Teresa Ping are making the trip down here this weekend and going to be making the trip back, probably staying this week until they have sophomore day Thursday, as there's going to be a ground ball, and it's going to get to the shortstop. Shortstop's going to have to hurry. The throw is not in time. So that'll go for a single there for Macy Cox. A good diving effort by the third baseman. It was deep in the hole to the shortstop, and the shortstop zipped it over, but Macy just enough speed to beat that one out. And now this is going to bring up Casey Carpenter to the plate. So with one out and a runner at first base, Carpenter, the first baseman, batting in that sixth spot, will dig in here for ICC. At first pitch, missing inside for a ball. Grounder, slow roller, and it's going to be a fielder's choice as Cox thought it was going to be caught, so she had to check up on the play. Didn't have enough steam on it to get past the second baseman. 4-6 on the fielder's choice for out number 2. And now this is going to bring up Joanna Vasquez.
Left fielder number 2, JoJo Vasquez.
So just a tough play there. As we said, the ball floated up just enough. The pitcher didn't get to it. It had more sideways spin than top spin, and a great job by the second baseman to hustle over, get the ball, and get the force out at second. That pitch inside for a strike. JoJo playing in left field, trying to spark a two-out rally here for the Indians. They trail at 1-0. Bottom of the second, game 2 between ICC and Gulf Coast. JoJo looks at that pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Runners over at first base for the Indians. Johnson sending out some signals to her defense, and now the third baseman want to come in and talk to her for a second. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Vasquez trying to spark a 2-out rally here for the Indians. Carpenter's at first. That pitch missing low. 2-1 now goes the count here to Joanna Vasquez. But what was a quick pace has slowed dramatically now here in the bottom of the second. JoJo looks at that one in there for a strike. 2-2 now is the count here to Vasquez. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Pitch coming. JoJo had to chase it that time as she's been given that extreme corner. Came up empty, and that is going to be the 5th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Avery Sanders. So ICC gets no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 1-0 is your score after 2 complete. I'll tell you what, let's go check out some baseball action real quick. As ICC still leading it 2-0 right now. Jeremy Kennedy with the call over there. See if we can pick up his call for a moment.
Hardy. A throw from Coker pulled Medlin off the base just a bit. And that allowed Lazarante to be safe as Coach Carter's going to have a conversation with the base umpire and at least get him to conversate with the home plate umpire and see if perhaps if they talk about it, they could overrule it, but to no avail. So the play stands. The Eagles with 2 runs in the inning, and they have a chance for more as Connor Carter, the center fielder, will now step in. Carter 0 for 1, popped it up left side to Russell Bunch. His first time at the plate to lead off the second inning. So Harding needs a good pitch, get a ground ball.
And now we're back to live action here after taking a look in at baseball. 2-0 ICC with the lead there. That's game 1. If you'd like to go check that one out, it is on the red channel. Thanks to everyone tuning in here on the blue channel. As we're moving now to the top of the 3rd inning, and it's going to be Camry Williams, Katie Beth Williams, and Kinsey Nichols due up. Swung on a miss for a strike. That was the voice of Jeremy Kennedy on the call for game 1 there between ICC and Hines. If I get enough time after breaking everything down in between games, I'll try to get over there and help him with game 2. Grounder, second baseman, gloves it, throws it over in time for the out, 4-3 to retire Williams. So that was just off the end of the bat that time. Williams kind of gave up on it out of the box as she kind of half-heartedly jogged down to first. 4-3 on the putout. And now this will bring up Katie Beth Williams. Katie Beth, she grounded out back to the pitcher to end the first. Wind still shifting all over the place as these type of winds typically in this area tends to blow up a storm, so there could be some rain moving into the area later as that pitch missing low for a ball. So 1-0 is the count. There's a shot. It's going to be foul, and it's going to get out of play over into the bullpen area. 1-1 now goes the count here to Katie Beth Williams. Again, if you think that name sounds familiar, if you're watching in support of ICC, Katie Beth is a sophomore infielder that is out of Smithville. She went to Smithville High School. And of course, we all know Smithville, a very, very, very proud softball tradition. So 1-1 now is the count with 1 out and nobody on. That pitch, called a strike. Looked like it was up that time. 1-2 now is the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Nobody on here for the Bulldogs. So that pitch hangs up for a ball. Leaves the count now at 2-2. So 2-2 is the count. Nelson looking for her first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day. And that pitch missing low and inside for a ball. ICC faithful, not a big fan of it, but I do agree. I think that pitch was a little too low for the umpire's liking. Now the count goes full here to Williams. So waiting the 3-2 pitch here. And there's ball 4. So the second walk of the day. 4th free pass, if you will, as Kaylee Nelson has hit 2 batters and now has walked 2 so far, and a 1-out walk issue there, and this is going to bring up Nicholson. So with 1 out and a runner on first base. Swings on the first pitch he sees, and a ground ball that gets past the third baseman, and a solid lick that time off the bat of Nichols. Goes for the 4th hit of the day for Gulf Coast, and now they're working with runners on first and second with 1 out now. They lead it 1-0, trying to find some of those insurance runs.
Number 20, Hannah Hembry.
And now up is going to be the catcher, Hannah Hembry. She ran it out to second in her first at bat. ICC would love to see if they can get a duplicate of that and see if they might be able to turn 2 to get out of this inning here. But Gulf Coast, man, they are rolling here in game 2. Is that pitch missing low for a ball? 1-0 is the count. Mind you to follow us on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. It's Madison Haley running Twitter today for us. As this one is going to be a foul ball down the line. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Runners on first and second here for the Bulldogs. There's going to be a diving catch, and they're going to turn 2. A big-time Little Caesars double play there as a diving catch from Rachel Stranisha. She tosses it over second to turn the Little Caesars double play to get out of the jam there for ICC. We'll take a break and hear from Little Caesars. ICC trails at 1-0. Let's see if they can pick up a little bit of momentum after that great defensive play by Rachel Cernisha. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Typically try to get a minute in between innings, but last inning, that wasn't even close to that. So what we'll do now is we'll go back and check on baseball a little bit while we tell you what's going on right now. And this 1-0 game, as we're in the bottom of the third inning, ICC trailing Gulf Coast here in Game 2. Over in baseball, it's 2-0. Looks like Jackson Lancaster's coming to the plate here for the Indians. He had a solo home run. Excuse me, it's actually 2-2. So Hines was able to push across a pair of runs. Took me a minute to be able to see the score. For some reason, I've got this live ticker at the bottom that's covering up the score there. So Hines and ICC tied 2-2. That game going on over there on the Red Channel if you would like to check it out throughout the day. So now this is going to be Jessica Davis, Hope Harmon, and Maddie Miney due up here for ICC. The Indians have sent 7 batters to the plate. Avery Sanders has struck out 5 of those. She has given up 1 hit. So Davis at the plate. She's going to stand in and take that first pitch low for a ball. 1-0 is the count. That pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs as Davis is starting us off here. It's been the Avery Sanders show so far. She has been magnificent. Dominant, yes. Changeup. Everything she's throwing today is working, folks. And you got a pitcher that she's probably throwing low to mid-60s. And then when she can throw that changeup for strikes as well, it's just a tough day for the batters. 1-2 is the count. That pitch missing low. 2-2 now goes the count. As we said, she had a 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the first where she got all 3 batters on strikeout. She actually struck out 4 straight before Macy Cox had a single. Casey Carpenter reached on a fielder's choice, and then she ended the inning on a strikeout again. This pitch popped up to the right side. Second baseman's going to drift over and will make the play for out number 1. And even when she does get contact made, it has not been hard contact by ICC. And now this is going to bring up Hope Harbin to the plate.
The center fielder, number 17, Hope Harbin.
So Harbin will try to spark the bats here for ICC. They've got 1 hit compared to the 4 for Gulf Coast. Hope stands in, takes that first pitch high for a ball. Well, it's Hope's birthday. She had 2 RBIs in a 3-2 win. She also had a great play defensively to cut down some runs. And in the second, on a diving, sliding catch out in center field, is that pitch missing for a second one. ICC's actually had 2 web jams defensively so far in the contest. That pitch right down the middle. That's an ease for a strike. 2-1 now is the count. Well, Sanders, she's just in a rhythm. So if you're ICC right now, you need to see if you can call time a couple of times, something to just throw her out of this rhythm. Step out of the batter's box, whatever you got to do. Harbin shows bunt, and it's going to be a foul ball by inches. Well, a great idea that time on the part of Hope Harbin. If that one would have found a way to kind of just stay fair, as it just made 2 rotations too many to be a foul ball. And now the count goes 2-2. That's just the way the breaks have been going for Avery Sanders. And not discrediting Avery by any sense, but when you're in a groove, when you're going and things are going your way, that's what tends to happen as that changeup hangs up for a ball. So 3-2 now is the count here to Hope Harbin. And Hope fouls this one back right into your living room. 3-2 will stay the count with 1 out. Maddie Miney is on deck for ICC. Harbin trying to find a way on. As we said, that last bunt went just inches foul, or she would have had an infield or a bunt single with 1 out in the inning. So now Harbin getting set for the pitch. Swings on it, ground ball, third baseman bobbles it, and that's going to put the runner at first, and the throw gets away, and she's going to advance on to second. Will they try to get her to third? Yes, they will. And so that will be an error on the third baseman. And then Hope Harbin wisely, smartly gets over to third, and now that was a big-time play there with one out in the inning, and this is going to bring up Maddie Miney. Well, Maddie will come to the plate with one out and a runner at third base. That's the tying run at third, as this is now going to be Hannah Hembry wanting to go out and talk to her pitcher in the infield here to try to just set them up and let them know what we need to do in this situation. There's one out. And a brief meeting in the circle, the umpire. That's typically what happens when you're a home plate umpire. You get ready to go out there and break up the huddle, and then you have a designated infielder to say, hey, here comes the umpire. Let's wait about 2 more steps and break up, and that's what they did. So now with the tying run at third base with one out in the inning, this is going to be Maddie Miney. And she stands in there and takes that pitch for a strike, and ICC fans not a fan of that one. Well, Maddie went down looking at a strike that was in the other batter's box, and he's been consistently about 2 or 3 inches off the plate all day. As a batter, you got to know that. 0-1 is the count. And then a beautiful, wicked off-speed pitch that time, and Miney way ahead of that one, kind of laughing at herself there. She got jammed up on that one and quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Well, Sanders, this is the first time she's had a runner in scoring position so far this afternoon. Bottom of the third inning, 0-2 now is the count here to Maddie Miney. Pitch on its way. That one missing outside. 1-2 now is the count. Some of the ICC faithful trying to chirp in and say that was a carbon copy of the first pitch he called for a strike. Instead, now 1-2 goes the count. Tying run is at third base. Maddie Miney at the plate trying to find a way to bring home Hope Harbin. Maddie takes time as Sanders taking too much time for her liking there. It was a bases-loaded hit by pitch that pushed across a run for Gulf Coast in the second. Miney waits back on the changeup, fouls off, and keeps the at-bat alive. Good pitch that time by Sanders. Even better job that time by Maddie Miney to keep the at-bat alive. One out in the inning. A runner over at third base. You're looking at her. That's Hope Harbin. She reached on an error and advanced to third after the throw got away. So 1-2 now is the count here to Maddie Miney. Going to have to choke up and protect the plate here. Swung on and missed for strike 3. An impressive pitch that time as she just went downstairs and got the strikeout. So now that's going to be the second out of the inning, the 6th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game. And now this is going to bring up Rachel Sternisha. So with 2 outs and a runner at third base, Rachel Sternisha will dig in here to try to spark the bats for the Indians. That pitch paints the outside corner for a strike. Where they're giving Sanders the river here. And when you give a pitcher like Sanders the river, basically from batter's box to batter's box, she's already dominant, and it becomes even more dominant then. 0-1 now is the count. That pitch high and outside for a ball, 1-1. Goes the count here to Rachel Sternisha. She struck out swinging in her first at-bat today. Looking to redeem herself here. 2-out hitting. That's the key to baseball and softball. So ICC, they come up with some clutch 2-out hits in Game 1. Looking for another one here in Game 2. They trail it 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Change up, and it's a beauty for a strike as completely froze Sternisha that time. And again, Avery Sanders, folks, she is dealing in this one. Trying to get out of the jam here. 1-2 is the count to Rachel Sternisha. She's playing second, batting second in the lineup. So winning this 1-2 offering here. Sternisha looks at that one high for a ball. 2-1 now is the count. Good eye that time on Rachel as that rise ball directed just a bit too high out of the strike zone. Runner at third. That's the tying run in Hope Harbin. Rachel Sternisha at the plate. Samantha Conley on deck for the Indians. And there's strike 3. Got her looking at another one. 7 Renaissance Bank strikeouts in the game, and Avery Sanders knew that one was a strike when it left her hand as she was already heading towards the dugout. So the Indians get no runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. 1-0 is your score. We've played 3 here in Game 2. Gulf Coast leads it. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the fourth inning. ICC had the tying run at third, but again, back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts by Avery Sanders got her out of a jam. Boy, she has been impressive today. She has seen 11 batters, and she has struck out 7 of those, including back-to-back strikeouts to end the third. For Gulf Coast, it's going to be the 8-9-1 batters due up here in the top of the fourth inning. Mingo, Magui, and Massey due up here for the Bulldogs. Well, Gulf Coast, they're looking for a split today. ICC's going to try to find a rally to see if they can battle back in this one and stay in the chase for that regular season championship. If you're a Jones fan, you're kind of pulling for Gulf Coast in Game 2 here. So they'll both get a loss today and give Jones a one-game lead on both the Indians and the Bulldogs. That pitch in there for a strike, that's Nelson still in the circle here for ICC. Mingo at the plate. She walked and scored a run. That was back in the second inning. And that's the difference in the ball game right now. She scored whenever it was a bases loaded hit by pitch. That pitch missing low and inside. 1-1 now is the count. Well, it's an absolute beautiful day at the ballpark. They've got the barbecue festival going on at the square. Baseball going on over between ICC and Hines. We'll try to check in on that one in between innings, as that's going to be a ground ball. It's going to go for a foul ball. Jeremy Kennedy with the call over there on the red channel. Again, want to give a shout out to the Mineys aunt, Tammy, who is up in Iowa dealing with about 4 or 5 inches of snow right now. We're dealing with temperatures in the 80s as that pitch goes high. Well, interesting here. We got a Renaissance Bank scoreboard update. Jones is losing 3-0 after Game 1. Thought they were off today. So, Don, if you can confirm that with me and who they're playing. I thought Jones was off today, or is that going to be a baseball score? I'll try to find that as well. Of course, when I mentioned Don, that's Don Hammock, the SID extraordinaire down there at Gulf Coast. Always doing a great job for everyone down there on the Gulf Coast area. As that pitch fouled back and out of play, the count now goes 3-2. Don says, you're right, it is baseball. Man, I thought we was going to get a big gift there on that one, but instead it's not. So it is a baseball score. They are losing there. It's what happens when you have to deal with Sean Wansley. So now the count goes 3-2. Pitch coming. Jammed her, and the second baseman couldn't find it. And that's going to be just a gift there. As it was a tough play to get to. And so I'm going to go with the E4 on that one. We will have a runner coming in this situation. This is going to be number 24, Archer. So an error to start the inning as Mingo reached on that one. Now Archer in running in place of Mingo. Gooey at the plate. Swings at the first pitch she sees, fouls it off, and out of play for strike one. We got the day one results for golf, so we'll try to get you that information here in a moment. Is that pitch missing for a ball? Gulf Coast, they shot a opening round 294, so they lead it. ICC is in second place with a opening round 299. Meridian in third place, 309. And then it's a 314 from Colin, and then Hines at 316. So Gulf Coast, which by the way is really good at golf, with a 5-stroke lead over ICC in the district tournament going on there at River Birch and Amory. That'll be going on tomorrow as well. I believe the day starts at 9 o'clock there in Amory. 2-1 is the count. And that pitch across for a strike, even the count now at 2-2. This is McGooey at the plate. Mingo is over at first after reaching on an error. Or excuse me, it's not Mingo, it's actually Archer who is at first. She replaces Mingo over at first, who reached on an error. 2-2 is the count here to McGooey. Grounder, third baseman, scoops it up. He's going to step on the bag and get the out. 3 unassisted on the putout of McGooey. So now with 1 out, the runner did advance, so that's basically the equivalent of a sacrifice bunt that time. As we go back to the top of the lineup in Bailey Massey, she has been a tough out today, folks. She is 2 for 2 on the day. She doubled and singled, but she's been left stranded in scoring position both times she's been to the plate. So with 1 out, is that pitch missing for a ball? We're in the top of the 4th inning. Gulf Coast with a 1-0 lead. That pitch across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. Again, in between innings, we'll try to jump over to baseball if they're in action. If they're in a commercial break like they are now, we'll obviously leave that one alone. That is over on the Red Channel, if you would like to check that one out. Is that pitch missing for a ball? 2-1 now is the count. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. Runner at second base. That is Archer, who's running in place of Mingo, who reached on an error. And that pitch missing outside. 3-1 now goes the count. Remind you, we'll be back in action on Tuesday. We'll be on the Red Channel as baseball will host Delta. That's going to be for Sophomore Day. Softball will be on the road at Coahoma because of other conflicting schedules. I don't believe we'll be able to make it out for that one. As that pitch right down the middle for a strike. 3-2 now is the count. Of course, we'll keep you updated, and you can stay updated by following us on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. That's also Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook and YouTube. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're there. 3-2 now is the count here to Massey. Changeup hangs up, and that's going to go for a ball. So that'll equal a walk. A nice at bat that time by Massey, and now this is going to bring up Brianna Shores. She's been hit by a pitch each time she's come to the plate, and one of those resulted in a run, and that's the difference in the ball game right now. 1-0. That was back in the second inning. Runners at first and second with only 1 out now.
Number 12, Brianna Shores.
ICC got a Little Caesars double play to end the third. Would love to find another one to end the top of the 4th here, but before we do that, Coach Kurt wants to come out and talk to his squad. We'll take the break with him and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a pitching change coming up here for ICC. Looks like this is going to be Hannah Swallers entering the contest here for ICC. So with this break in action, we're going to take another timeout, hear a few words from our sponsors, and be back with more ICC trailing it 1-0 with a pitching change here in the top of the fourth.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome back as Hannah Swallers finishes up her warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at some Sonic stats on her. She's 4-2 on the year. She's pitched 24 2/3 innings, has given up 22 hits, 21 runs, 18 of those were earned. She's walked 14, has struck out 11, has a 5.11 ERA. 1-0 is your score, top of the fourth. There is one out. Runners on first and second. They belong to Nelson. And that first pitch across for a strike, 1-0 is the count. She's being greeted by Shores. She has been hit by a pitch twice. Last time she was hit by a pitch, it pushed across a run, and that's where we're at right now, 1-0. Game two. We're in the top of the fourth. ICC won the first game of the day, 3-1. That pitch goes high for a ball. Evens the count now at 1-1. Well, again, our next broadcast will be on the Red Channel, and that'll be Tuesday for Sophomore Day over at baseball when they take on Mississippi Delta. They trail right now 3-2 to Hines. We'll take a look at that game in between innings. Grounder to the second baseman. There's one. Can they get two? Yes, they do. Another Little Caesars double play to end the inning for ICC, and big time out there. 4-6-3 to end the inning there. Big double play. Back-to-back innings ended by a double play started by Rachel Stranisha. So we're going to go ahead and take and recap the game so far as we're going to go over and check out the baseball game. Jeremy Kennedy with the call. This is on the Red Channel. So we move to the bottom of the fourth inning for Gulf Coast. In the top of the first, they got a double by Massey, and then Brianna Shore was hit by a pitch. A sacrifice bunt moved them over to second and third. But then a pop-up to the third baseman and a ground out to the pitcher into the first. For ICC, they sent three batters to the plate, and all three struck out. That ended the first inning. We go to the second inning. In the top half of the second, it was a two-out walk to Betty Mingo, then a single, loaded the bases. It was McGooey and Massey with those singles, then a hit by pitch to Brianna Shore, pushed across Mingo, and that made it a 1-0 score for Gulf Coast. In the bottom part of the second,
right side,
it was
a squeeze it for out number two. That's a
strikeout
really
to start the inning, a single, then a fielder's choice, and a strikeout to end the second. Indians went quietly there in the second. In the top of the third inning, a single, or excuse me, a walk and a single, then a Little Caesars double play on a nice play called it a line drive, and then tossed over to short to end the inning there. Got the Indians out of a jam. ICC got an error in the third, advanced over to third in the third. She was the tying run, then back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts from Avery Sanders got Gulf Coast out of the jam. And then you just saw there a Little Caesars double play got the Indians out of the previous inning. As we're going to come back to live action here, we'll try to see if we can check in on baseball in a moment. Indians trail that one 3-2. This is going to be Samantha Conley in the circle here. Conley, Kreider, and Macy Cox due up for ICC. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth, game two. That pitch across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. This has been the Avery Sanders Show, folks. ICC has sent 11 batters to the plate. She has set down 7 of them. Renaissance Bank strikeouts. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. RenaissanceBank.com. Member FDIC, the best bank in the South, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics. That pitch skips across. 2-1 now is the count. Well, ICC's got to figure something out here, and Sanders, as she has just handcuffed the batters all day. Ground ball, foul ball, and 2-2 now goes the count here on Samantha Conley. We talked about it. Samantha is a sophomore. She is out of Mandeville, Louisiana. She was the focus of our Renaissance Bank What a Play Wednesday. Not only did she make a great diving effort, but she got recently engaged as well, so congratulations to Sam on a big week last week. And a swinging strike 3 as Conley goes down swinging yet again. That is the 8th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day. And now up is going to be Summer Kreider.
Next up, the third baseman, number 7, Summer Kreider.
So 1-0 is your score right now. ICC trailing Gulf Coast as Avery Sanders continues to dominate these ICC batters. 1 out, nobody on. Kreider takes a look at that pitch inside for a ball. So ICC in contention after day 1 of the District D tournament, which is basically the region tournament. That's a changeup, and my, oh my, that thing was beautiful. As it just got to the batter and just fell off the table into the strike zone. 1-1 now is the count. Well, if you're Sanders, you got to be careful with Kreider. She's somebody that can run into one of your fastballs and do some damage. Instead, that pitch missing low and inside. 2-1 now is the count. Kreider does lead the team in home runs this year. She's got 9 of those, and she leads that by a mile. ICC not really a power-hitting team. As that pitch called a strike. 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Kreider's got to be careful here. Sanders, she really likes to go to all speed here. Instead, she does go off speed. As it's fouled back and out of play, and we'll stay at 2-2. Nice grab out there by a fan that made the play on the ball. It's a great crowd coming out. These are probably 2 of the most well-traveled fan bases between Gulf Coast and ICC. Also, Jones travels extremely well. When you look at that, it's kind of reflective. These are also the 3 top programs in the state as well. 2-2 pitch coming. It's missing low. 3-2 now is the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out is the situation here. Nobody on base for ICC. They trail it 1-0. Summer Kreider at the dish. This one fouled back, and it's actually off one of the bracings for the netting and bounced back into play. Now, they always say when you come to the ballpark, you're going to see something you've never seen before. Well, that was it right there. The foul ball off the bracing of the netting. It goes back into play, and the count will stay now 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Kreider at the plate, going to have to protect the dish here. And Summer fouls this one off, keeping the at-bat alive here. So a nice battle from Summer. See if the Indians can find their second hit of the day. It was a Macy Cox single back in the 2nd inning. She was erased on a fielder's choice when Casey Carpenter reached. But ever since then, it's been all Avery Sanders. And that pitch, a changeup that hangs up, and that's going to draw a walk. Nice at bat that time by the part of Summer Kreider to find her way on base. And now this is going to bring up Macy Carpenter with a runner on first and 1 out. Macy flared a single out to left field in her first at bat. That was back in the 2nd inning. So now ICC with a runner on first with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Gulf Coast with a 1-0 lead. Again, we'll try to check in on baseball periodically to give you some more updates on that one. It's going on right now on the Red Channel. As that pitch across for a strike. You can also keep up with it on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, Madison Haley running it here for Game 2 at Let's Go ICC. You can follow her updates there throughout the afternoon. So 0-1 is the count here to Macy Cox. She's the DP here in Game 2 like she was in Game 1. A foul ball down the third base side, and 0-2 now goes the count. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Runner over at first base. That is going to be Summer Kreider, who reached on a walk on the previous at-bat. So Macy's got to be careful here and guard the dish. Casey Carpenter is on deck for ICC as the sun really starting to come out now. As that pitch missing high for a ball. Good eye that time by Macy Cox. That's pretty much been Avery Sanders' go-to pitch when she's up in the count 0-2 is a rise ball out of the zone to see if she can get some of the ICC batters to chase them. And a good job that time by Macy Cox not to do so. 1-2 now is the count with one out, runner at first base. That pitch gets high, and the ball gets away, and Kreider will head down to second on the wild pitch. And now the tying run again in scoring position here for the Indians. ICC put a runner at third, then back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts by Sanders got Gulf Coast out of the jam that was in the third inning, so now runner at second. 2-2 is the count here to Macy Cox. And that pitch just outside for a ball. Good eye that time by Macy, especially considering the fact that Avery Sanders has been getting that corner all day. So that one goes for a ball. 3-2 now is the count. Not a bad spot to miss, however, by Sanders. See if you can get her to chase one. 3-2 pitch coming. This one foul out of play, and we'll stay at 3-2. Well, you can hear the chatter in the ballpark. High drama here in the bottom of the fourth inning. ICC trailing 1-0 here in game 2. Gulf Coast trying to earn a split here on the road with ICC. The Indians picked up a 3-1 win in the first game of the day. And there's another walk. Back-to-back walks now out of Sanders. So after grooving through the first 12 batters she saw today, she's run into a little bit of trouble now with back-to-back walks. And now this is going to be Casey Carpenter coming to the plate here for ICC. 1-0 is the score, Gulf Coast. Tying run in scoring position at second. And it looks like we may have a runner coming into this situation, or maybe not. Yep, we will. And this is going to be Lily Moore coming in to run.
Pitch running for ICC, number 13, Lily Moore.
Going to get a little bit more speed on the bases here for Lily Moore coming in at first base. Of course, Lily, a sophomore. She's out of here in Fulton. She graduated from Itawamba AHS, so she'll be coming in to run in this situation. So you've got Summer Kreider at second. She walked. And now this is going to be Casey Carpenter coming to a plate. She reached on a fielder's choice in her previous at-bat. Boy, a base hit could be huge here for the Indians. So Carpenter at the dish. Swings at the first pitch she sees. They're going to go to third. They're going to get one. Are they going to try to turn two? No, they will not. And so that'll be a fielder's choice. Smart play that time by Avery Sanders. Her momentum carried her away from first base. Knew that she had a force out at third. And so now there's 2 outs in the inning as Kreider is retired. And now this is going to bring up Joanna Vasquez. JoJo to the plate. Can JoJo do JoJo things here for the Indians? There's 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Sanders trying to get out of the jam yet again. That pitch across for a strike. JoJo struck out swinging to end the second, trying to redeem herself here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 is the score. Gulf Coast with the lead here in game 2. That pitch missing low and outside. 1-1 now is the count. Well, right now, if you're the catcher, Hembry, you got to be careful on those pitches getting away because you don't want to put that tying run at third in this situation. You do have good speed with Lily Moore over at second base. So waiting the 1-1 offering here to Vasquez. JoJo fouls this one off. And 1-2 now goes the count. If JoJo can find her way on, that'll be Jessica Davis due up next for the Indians. But Gulf Coast fans would love to see her come up in the bottom of the fifth. 1-0 is your score. An instant classic brewing here so far in game 2 between 2 of the top 10 teams in the country. Sanders getting ready to pitch. Change up. Vasquez waiting on it. Third baseman gets it and says she's safe. I want to say she missed the tag. And so that will go as a fielder's choice for JoJo. And now they're going to come up and appeal to home. Boy, if they overturn this, there might be a riot. There's no way the home plate umpire can overturn this, so he's going to stay with the infield umpire here. And so base is loaded now for the Indians. Well, I was blocked by my computer screen. I couldn't see, and it was really a tough. So it was a close play going the way of ICC, and Now we're going to look like we may have a batter come up in this situation for the Indians. A new batter coming into the contest. This is going to be number 21 for ICC. That is going to be Maggie Smithy. So Maggie Smithy will come into bat here in place of Jessica Davis. Smithy getting her first action of the day. She's a freshman outfielder. She's from New Albany. She went to Ingomar High School.
Pinch hitting for ICC, number 21, Maggie Smithy.
Well, high drama here in the bottom of the fourth. There's 2 outs. Bases loaded here for ICC, and Smithy is at the plate. It's been a pair of walks, and then a fielder's choice has loaded up the bases now here for ICC in the bottom of the second. That pitch missing low for a ball. Well, any way you can get it across. A hit batter like we saw in the second inning to score a run, a walk, a hit, anything for ICC right now will tie it up. As that pitch missing low for a ball. 2-0 now is the count, and time is going to be taken once again here by the catcher to come out and talk to her pitcher. It's still 3-2. ICC trailing Hines over in baseball. As a brief meeting there between the battery, and now 2-0 is the count here to Maggie Smithy. 1-0 is the lead for Gulf Coast. Smithy blisters one, and it's off the shortstop, and there's going to be no play, and we're tied. Well, an error on the shortstop, and ICC has tied the contest 1-1. A big-time situation there. Or no, they called the out. Oh, Carpenter got caught in the rundown. So did the run score, though? Yeah. Okay, so Carpenter got caught in the rundown. I was looking down trying to set my replay here, so that's what the situation there. So we are tied at 1. As we'll take a break and hear a word from the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6. Pizza.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. We're tied 1-1 here as we head to the top of the 5th inning. It was Carpenter who was caught in that rundown to end the inning. As I said, I didn't see that. I was looking down trying to set my replay here. So that's my bad. Thanks to Glenn Haley and C.J. Adams for catching me up on what happened there. So that's how they got out of the inning. 1-1 is your score, as now it's going to be Marche Hunt, Camry Williams, and Katie Beth Williams all due up here for Gulf Coast in the top of the 5th. That pitch across for a strike. Well, with that tying run, Kaylee Nelson is off the hook for a decision this afternoon. And Hannah Swallers is in line for the decision. 0-1 is the count here to Hunt. She was robbed of a base hit that would have drove in a pair of runs to end the second. She also had a sacrifice bunt as that pitch missing for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Don't know if that was Ric Flair that walked into the area or maybe ICC fans didn't necessarily agree with the call. You heard a big woo in that situation. 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs as Hunt leads us off here. This pitch fouled back and out of play. 1-2 now goes the count here on Hunt. Hines is at the bat. They lead it 3-2. That's in Game 1 over on the Red Channel between ICC Baseball. The Indians, their magic number is 4 to try to win the state championship, and Hines is not going away quietly here in the first game as they lead it 3-2 Jeremy Kennedy with the call there. You can follow that game also on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. There's a blast, and it's going to be to the gap, and Hope Harbin's not going to be able to run it down. Nice at bat that time by Hunt. Just went with the pitch, put it out there where they ain't, as they like to say. And that's going to be the 5th hit of the day for the Bulldogs. And now the Bulldogs with the go-ahead run on the base here in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 22, Cameron Williams.
So this will be Cameron Williams at the plate. Cameron grounded out to second in her last at-bat, popped up to the third baseman in her first at-bat of the day. ICC has already turned 2 Little Caesars double play. Can they find a way to turn another one here? It would be big to erase the go-ahead run that's over at first base in the Speedy Hunt. This is Hannah Swallers in the circle here for ICC. Lays the bunt down. Only one play, and it's going to be to first. And that will be a sacrifice bunt to get the runner over. A nice job that time by Williams to lay down the bunt. There was only one play, and that was to first. That sacrifice bunt being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union, reminding you of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. That's the ICC BSU. They meet Monday nights at 7:07, Wednesdays at lunch, but with finals coming up, this may be the last meeting of the year. You can follow them on Twitter at ICC BSU. So with one out now and a runner at second base, this is going to bring up Katie Beth Williams. She walked in her previous at-bat, grounded out to the pitcher in her first at-bat of the day. There's a hard-hit line drive. Shortstop gets it, and now this is going to be a rundown, and they do tag her. Smart play that time by Maddie Miney. 6-5 on the putout of Hunt to get the lead runner. Hunt took off instead of waiting, making her look her back to second. And there was a fielder's choice on the play. Smart play there by the shortstop, Maddie Miney, to cut down the lead runner for out number 2. And now this is going to bring up Kinsey Nichols. She's 1 for 2 on the day. She singled but was erased, part of that Little Caesars double play to end the third. She also flew out to right field on a nice play by Jessica Davis, who made a running catch at her knees. So 2 out now and a runner at first base. 1-1 is your score. Top of the 5th inning. That pitch, a beauty, but called a ball. 1-0 is the count here to Nichols. She's playing out in left field, batting in the 6th spot. 1-0 is the count. Indians trying to find their way out of the jam here. Or not really a jam, but find out the way out of the inning without any damage done. Runner at first. That pitch is fouled off. 1-1 now goes the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. As this is Kinsey Nichols at the plate. If she were to find a way on, then it's Hannah Embry, the catcher that's due up here for the Bulldogs. So 1-1 is the count. Runner at first. That's Katie Beth Williams, who reached on a fielder's choice. That pitch, a little too far inside for the umpire's liking. As the strike zone has changed now, and it's also changed for Avery Sanders, who issued 2 walks in that previous inning. As now the count goes 2-1. That's what we said. If it stayed the same way all day, it was going to be a pitcher's afternoon. 2-1 changeup, hangs up high. 3-1 now goes the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. A runner over at first base, and Katie Beth Williams. ICC pushed across and run in the bottom of the 4th. Gulf Coast looking to get it back here in the top of the 5th. Game 2, 1-1 is your score. Awaiting the pitch here from Swallers, and it's outside, and that's going to be ball 4. So a 2-out walk issued that time to Nichols, and now this is going to be Hannah Embry, the catcher, up here. She is grounded out to the second baseman, lined out to the second baseman. That turned into a extra most bestest Little Caesars double play to end the 3rd.
Now batting the catcher, number 20, Hannah Embry.
So Hannah Embry, she's a sophomore out of Pascagoula. She went to Pascagoula High School. I just now realized this. Bailey Massey, I knew that name sounded familiar. She is from Bruce, which is right down the road where I'm from. So, my bad to the Massey family. I know them well. Obviously not well enough to realize that wasn't who I thought it was. But either way it goes, 2 outs as that pitch missing outside now to the catcher, Hannah Embry. The go-ahead run is at second, and Conley wants to come out and talk to her pitcher in this situation. ICC is getting what looks to be Olivia Burns loose in the bullpen here. As Conley wants to come out and talk to her pitcher. As while she does that, we'll go check on
Cofield's
baseball.
Gonna be out
ICC still down in that one 3-2, and
for the
looks like they got a runner in scoring
inning,
position,
going to be
does
a
Hines.
huge
And
turn of
there's a
events.
discussion between the Hines coach and the home plate umpire, so we'll come right back to softball action here. 1-0 is the count here to Hannah Embry. This pitch fouled back. They had a little hit and run action going that time. Foul back, 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. And 2 outs here in the inning. ICC trying to find the exit. Gulf Coast trying to get that merry-go-round spinning here in the top of the 5th inning. See if they can retake the lead. Embry at the plate, 0 for 2 on the day. That pitch missing outside, 2-1 now is the count. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. You've got Williams at second, Kinsey Nichols at first, and Hannah Embry at the plate. Hannah Swallers is in the circle. Pitch coming. And that one goes high. 3-1 now is the count. Well, the strike zone has all but disappeared now from the way it was to start the contest. And Swallers is struggling to find the zone here. 3-1, a hitter's count. Got to put something in there right now if you're Swallers to see if you can rely on your defense. 3-1 pitch coming, and that's going to be ball 4. And that's going to walk the bases loaded after back-to-back 2-out walks now. And this is going to bring up Betty Mingo. She reached on an error, and she's also walked and scored a run. She scored on a hit by pitch with bases loaded back in the 2nd inning, and looks like ICC may or may not be making a move here. Burns is heading back to the dugout. So bases loaded here for the Bulldogs. 2 outs in the inning. Can ICC find a way to wiggle out of the jam here? Instead, Coach Kurt's going to come out and talk to the umpire. Looks like we'll have a change. So let's take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Bulldogs. 1-1 your score in the top of the 5th.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And welcome back as we do have the pitching change as anticipated here. This is going to be Olivia Burns, the Game 1 winner, coming back into pitch here for ICC with 2 outs and bases loaded. All the runners on the bag do belong to Hannah Swallers. As we said, it happened in the top part of the inning, or excuse me, I should say bottom of the 4th. The strike zone kind of disappeared, and it's continued to disappear here from the first 3.5 innings. That pitch in there for a strike from Olivia Burns. Can the Indians pull a Houdini act and get out of this bases-loaded jam with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning? Boy, it would be big, but Gulf Coast fans hoping they could see Betty Mingo come up with a clutch hit here. Instead, she quickly falls behind the count, 0-2. So bases loaded. 0-2 is the count here to Mingo. She walked, scored a run, reached on an error. Her courtesy runner, that was Archer, was left stranded. Pitch coming, and no, I thought that was strike 3, but instead it goes for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. Good looking pitch. ICC fans thought they got it. Gulf Coast fans breathe a sigh of relief there. 1-2 now is the count here to Betty Mingo. 2 outs in the inning. This one fouled back and will stay at 1-2. We'll go back to baseball and check in with them in the exchange of the innings. We'll let you hear listen in on the play-by-play from Jeremy Kennedy. 1-2 now is the count with 2 outs. Burns trying to get ICC out of the jam here. Pitch coming. Change up, waited on it. Popped it up, and it's going to make a catch. Yes, she does. Jessica Davis makes the diving catch. The Gulf coach, assistant coach, is going to try to come up and say it hit the ground, but the out is called, and what a play out there in right field to get the Indians out of the jam. 1-1 is your score. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, but before we do that, actually, let's go over to baseball now and let you check in with the game 1 between ICC and Hines.
45 innings. He only had 33 strikeouts, so obviously not a huge strikeout guy, but he's done a good job to this point, just keeping those Indians' bats at bay. Only 3 hits on the afternoon. And here comes Jacob Hall, who has worn one his first 2 times at the plate. Swings through that breaking ball, 0-2. Breaking ball again. Good pitch, but definitely inside. That was closer to hitting Hall for the 3rd time than it was to being a strike. Haley throw it again? You would imagine so. The Indians are probably going to have to sit on that breaking ball. It's kept them off balanced all afternoon. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, there it is, swing and a miss, struck him out. 2nd K of the inning, and the first time that Hall has been retired this afternoon. So Lane Domino.
And welcome back to live action here on softball. If you want to go back and watch that baseball game, it's 3-2 Hines leading there in game 1. That's over on the red channel. For ICC, it'll be the 9-1-2 batters due up. Hope Harbin, Maddie Miney, as Harbin rips the first one she sees, but a nice running catch out there in left field to get the out. That was a good-looking hit off the bat, but great speed out there in left field by Kenzie Nichols to get 1 pitch and 1 out now. And now this is going to be Maddie Miney. Miney has struck out twice today, once looking, once swinging, so she's looking for her first hit here on the afternoon. Shows butt, pulls back, and takes it for a ball. Well, Maddie was blistering hot in that East Mississippi series. She went 6 for 6 with a pair of walks and a hit by pitch. That was over that entire 2-game series. It's that pitch missing outside. So now 2-0 is the count here to Maddie Miney. 1-1 is your score. Bottom of the 5th. ICC trying to see if they can rally and take a lead. That pitch, again, missing outside. 3-0 now is the count. The strike zone, not anywhere near the way it was when we start the game. And the only reason I'm saying that is Avery Sanders has been dealing all day. And that one going for a ball. And then there's ball 4. That pitch has been called a strike numerous times today. So a nice at-bat that time on the part of Maddie Miney to reach on the walk there. So the strike zone, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, has changed. So that's one difficult situation for the batters, as they've been used to that strike zone earlier, and a difficult situation as well as Avery Sanders, as she was getting those calls, especially some of the ones that we saw against Maddie Miney earlier. So now ICC with it. That pitch missing for a ball. So 5 straight pitches, and Avery Sanders, who has struck out 8 today, can't seem to find the strike zone. So 1-0 is the count here to Rachel Stranisha. Stranisha looks at that pitch inside. And now Maddie Miney's going to have to hurry. She's going to get back safely. As she tried to draw the throw down to first, Miney dives back in second Drives back in first without an issue. So now 2-0 is the count. Time is taken here by Gulf Coast. Let's step away and let's hear from Davis Ford.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome back as the meeting in the circle is about to be broke up by the home plate umpire as no changes were made there for Gulf Coast. 2-0 is the count here to Rachel Stranicia. There's one out in the inning. Maddie Miney is over at first base after drawing a 4-pitch walk. 1-1 is your score. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Game 2 between ICC and Gulf Coast. ICC won the first game of the day 3-1. Runner goes, throw down is not in time. A great throw, but the throw was a little bit high and a good slide that time by Maddie Miney. I don't know if it showed up on the camera, but she actually twisted her foot around to avoid the tag on the throw, and she was able to keep her foot there and get the stolen base. So now the runner in scoring position here for the Indians. 2-1 is the count after that strike. Stranicia is going to pop this one up, and it's going to drop, and this should give the Indians. No, it will not give them the lead as now the throw home is not in time. She's safe. Drop the ball is what they're going to say. The Indians caught a big-time break there as the umpire immediately showed the ground, saying the ball came out of her glove on the tag. Through all the mess there, the runner does advance from first to third, so that's going to be a single. The Indians forced the issue. Miney was dead to rights on the way home, but the ball was dropped at home plate, and ICC leads it now 2-1. The coach, Kenneth Long, wanted to come out and talk to the home plate umpire, and the home plate umpire said, "What can I do?" She dropped the ball. And then he talked to his catcher, and the catcher confirmed. You saw her head shake. Yes, I don't know if he asked her something or said something, but a big-time play there for the Indians. And now Sam Conley. Conley's going to show bunt, squeeze play, and it's going to be an out. So could not quite get the bunt far enough down the line, so that'll be a fielder's choice for Conley. 2 unassisted on the putout of Stranicia. So try to go with the squeeze play. Great job that time on the part of Gulf Coast catcher to quickly get up and get the ball off the hop, and she was waiting for Stranicia there at third. And so now this is going to be Summer Kreider at the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first. And that pitch at the knees called a strike. 0-1 now is the count to Summer Kreider. ICC leads it 2-1 after Maddie Miney scored on the drop ball by the catcher on the tag. The tag was there, just couldn't hang on to the ball, so a big-time break for the Indians. Kreider at the plate. Looked at that changeup, and the catcher thought the runner was going and zipped it to second. The pitcher luckily had her heads up that time, did Sanders, as she was able to see the ball coming and catch it quickly. So now this is Summer Kreider at the plate. 1-1 is the count. Samantha Conley, the catcher, reached on a fielder's choice. She's over at first after she reached on a squeeze play. And Kreider chases one. To throw down is not in time. A stolen base there for Samantha Conley. Conley, who has a pretty good speed for a catcher, was able to get down there as she slides in safely. So now the count goes 1-2 here as it looked to be a hit-and-run situation as Kreider tried to protect her runner that time. And that pitch just missing outside for a ball. 2-2 now is the count. That's what we said. That pitch earlier was being called a strike for Sanders, and you saw a little bit of the frustration for Sanders that time as she just couldn't get the call. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner at second. ICC leads it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Game 2 between ICC and Gulf Coast. Pitch coming. This one ripped and foul, and we'll stay at 2-2. If Summer were to find her way on, it'll be Macy Cox due up next here for the Indians. Summer 0 for 1 on the day. She walked, advanced on a wild pitch, but was erased on a fielder's choice. That was back in the 4th inning. So 2-2 is the count. 2 outs. Sanders looking for the exit. ICC's got 1, looking for more. Kreider waits on this one, pops it up. Shortstop, though, is going to camp underneath it and get the out. Beautiful changeup that time. Kreider couldn't quite make up her mind on pulling the trigger on it or not. Found a piece of it. Routine pop-up to the shortstop. Ends the inning. But ICC gets 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We played 5 here in Fulton, and ICC leads it now 2-1. Don't go anywhere, folks. You don't want to miss this, and we'll be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
And welcome back as ICC leads it 2-1 now. Olivia Burns now in line for the decision after she got the Indians out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th. And she'll be greeted to the plate now by Caitlin McGooey.
Right fielder, number 5, Caitlin McGooey.
So it'll be McGooey, Massey, and Shores all due up here for Gulf Coast. 2-1 is the score. ICC with the lead. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Massey hits this one, and it's going to drop for another hit. Oh, no, excuse me, that's McGooey with the hit, her 2nd hit of the game. She just went with the first pitch she saw and just dropped it in between the center fielder and the shortstop as that goes for a hit now. So a leadoff single to start the contest, and now we go up top to Massey.
Number 1, Bailey Massey.
Massey is 2 for 2 on the day with the walk. She's been left stranded in scoring position twice today. Gulf Coast has actually left 10 runners on the backs today, 8 of those in scoring position. So Gulf Coast, they've had their opportunities, just couldn't get anything going. ICC, on the other hand, they have left 3 on the bags. And 1 of those in scoring position. Excuse me, 4 in the bags. 1 of those. Nope, got to keep adding to it. There we go. I'll eventually get it right. 5 on the bags. 2 of those left in scoring position this afternoon. Shows bunt, pops it up, and whoa, what a play by Summer Kreider. Well, there is a early nominee for your What a Play Wednesday. Summer Kreider coming up and getting a big time out there, stretching out and getting the play. My, oh, my. So now with 1 out in the inning, the runner was unable to advance in that situation. And now this is going to bring up Brianna Shore. She is 0 for 1 on the day. She's been hit by a pitch twice, lined into a double play to end the 4th inning. Shore's batting in that 2 spot. My goodness, what a play. What a play by Summer Kreider. The thing that makes that even more impressive, she's got a bad ankle that she had to push off on to jump and make that play. Shows bunt, lays it back, it goes foul. So I think it's a 1-1 count here. We'll see if the, yep, 1-1 is the count. One out, runner over at first base. Shores at the plate here for Gulf Coast. That pitch in there for a strike, 1-2 now. Goes the count. Can the Indians turn their third Little Caesars double play of the day to end the inning here? Boy, it'd be a big time if they could. As we're in the top of the 6th inning, ICC leading it 2-1. Pitch coming. Outside missing for a ball. Well, even though the strike zone has changed, he's still staying consistent between both pitchers. As we said, early in the contest, you can throw it to Dorsey and it be a strike. Now, you kind of have to thread the needle to find a strike here. 2-2 now is the count here to Shores. Shores lines it out to right field. Right fielder gets it and then throws it into first. Line out into right. So now with 2 away, this is going to bring Marche Hunt to the plate. Hunt had a single, was erased on a fielder's choice back in the 5th. She lined out to center on an outstanding play by Hope Harbin. She also had a sacrifice bunt in her first at bat of the day. Tying run is at first. There's 2 outs here. Top of the 6th inning. ICC with a 2-1 lead here in game 2. Change up in the dirt, missing for a ball. Runner over at first base. That's Caitlin McGooey. She singled to start the inning. Then a great play by Summer Kreider to get an out in foul territory to retire Bailey Massey, who's been a tough out today here in game 2. And then a line drive out to right field. This pitch has popped up. Center fielder Hope Harbin will camp underneath it for the out. Big inning there for the Indians after a leadoff single. A great play by Summer Kreider. A line out to right and then a routine fly ball to center field. Ends the top of the 6th. ICC will be sending Macy Cox, Casey Carpenter, and Joanne Vasquez to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Can ICC find some insurance runs? We'll find out. But before we do that, let's take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors. 2-1 Indians with the lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Today, you are connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected, which is easy with convenient locations in your community. Understanding that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. Banking partners with the services you desire, who understand how you want to bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
And welcome back to action now as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. ICC with a 2-1 lead here in game 2 as Macy Cox swings with the first pitch she sees and delivers a single out to left field. Second hit of the day for Macy. She's 2 for 2 with a walk. And a big-time clutch hit there to start the inning for ICC. And now this is going to bring up Casey Carpenter.
Now batting, number 27, Casey Carpenter.
Looks like ICC will be sending in a runner. Yes, it will. It'll be Mackenzie Toombs coming in to run in place of Macy Cox, the DP here. Carpenter, she's reached twice today, both of those times on a fielder's choice. ICC looking for one of those insurance runs, and we talk about those insurance runs. We talk about your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, give Joey a call or stop by and see him on South Adams Street right there in Fulton. The former ICC All-American, a proud sponsor of today's broadcast and ICC Athletics here on the ICC Sports Network. Toombs in to run at first. Carpenter shows bunt. Had to pull back her foot on it. Was unable to pull the bat back, so it goes for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Toombs running in place of Macy Cox, who started the inning off with a single. 2-1 is your score. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Shows bunt, lays it down. Third baseman will get it. Only one play, and it's over to first, and it's in time. So that's going to be a sacrifice bunt. 5-3 on the putout of Casey Carpenter. That sacrifice bunt being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union, reminding you of the ultimate sacrifice. Pay for your sin. That's the ICC BSU. Follow them on Twitter at ICC BSU. Brother Chris Burrows and company, always doing a great job. He's running the concession stand right now at baseball, which, by the way, they're over on the Red Channel if you want to check that out. ICC trailing 3-2, but threatening late in the game there. This is going to be Joanna Vasquez. The ball took a funny hop on it, but an easy toss over for the putout. 4-3 for the second out of the inning, but the runner does advance to third, so that almost works as a sacrifice bunt that time, as this is going to bring up Jessica Davis to the plate.
Next up, right fielder number 5, Jessica Davis.
Well, the ball, it had a little bit of sideways juju on it, if you will, a little English for a pool reference. But the second baseman did a good job of adjusting to it, was able to quickly find the ball and toss it over for out number 2 against the speedy Vasquez. Well, a base hit here will push across a run. The runner is at third. That's Toombs. That pitch across for a strike out of the hands of Avery Sanders. I've had to been thinking about it, and I probably have said it a couple of times. I referred to her as Johnson. I think Avery Johnson, of course, the former Phoenix Sun and former Alabama basketball coach. Don't know why I keep saying that or thinking that, so hopefully I haven't said it today. But knowing me, I have. That pitch missing outside, 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. There is a runner over at third base for the Indians, representing one of those Joey Cox insurance runs. ICC leading it 2-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, game 2. They're looking for a sweep now that they lead this contest. They won the first game of the day 3-1. Changeup hangs up, and that one goes for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here to Jessica Davis. Jessica popped up to the second baseman in her first at bat. She was batted for by Maggie Smithy, who reached on an error that allowed a run to score, as Davis fouls this one off, and 2-2 now goes the count. And then it was just a runner caught in a rundown to end that 4th inning as ICC did score a run there in the 4th and also in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 is the count. 2 outs. Runner at third. 2-1. ICC with the lead. Bottom of the 6th. Davis pops this one up. Shortstop's going to jog back and squeeze it for the out. Good job that time by Sanders to get out of the inning with a routine fly ball to the shortstop. So we've played 6 here in Fulton. ICC leads it 2-1. Can the Indians find 3 outs and sneak back and pick up a big win here? We'll find out. But before we do that, let's take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here, and it's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to head to the top of the 7th inning. ICC leading it 2-1 here in Game 2, trying to rally back and get the sweep of the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs trying to rally, at least force this one to the bottom half of the inning, maybe even take the lead. We'll see what they can do. For Gulf Coast, it's the 4, 5, 6 batters. Williams, and Nichols due up. This is Cameron Williams at the plate. Takes that first pitch, missing for a ball. 1-0 is the count. This is Olivia Burns. She's the 3rd pitcher of the game here for ICC. She replaced Hannah Swallers in a bases loaded situation. Is that one in there for a strike? 1-1 now is the count. She got a fly ball out to right field. That was a diving catch that Gulf Coast argued hit the ground. That was called an out. And a big-time play out there in right field by Jessica Davis. Change up, and it's a beauty in there for a strike. 1-2 now is the count here to Cameron Williams, the DP. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no outs as Williams is starting us off here in the top of the 7th. Awaiting the 1-2 offering here. Pitch coming. Change up, waited on it. Popped it up. Shallow, but shallow right field, but the second baseman comes up and makes the play for out number 1. So 1 out now, and this is going to bring up Katie Beth Williams.
Number 3, Katie Beth Williams.
Katie Beth Williams is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. She reached on a fielder's choice. She also grounded out back to the pitcher to end the first. That walk coming in the 3rd inning. She was left stranded in scoring position in that inning. So 1 out, nobody on here for the Bulldogs. Top of the 7th. That pitch missing outside, 1-0 now is the count. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. ICC with a 2-1 lead. There's a shot. Right fielder Jessica Davis is going to go under and camp out and squeeze it for out number 2. 2 away now. And ICC 1 out away from rallying with a pair of runs in the 4th and 5th inning to try to earn the sweep of this one. But for Gulf Coast, it's Kenzie Nichols. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and a single. She was raced on a Little Caesars double play back in the 3rd. So can the Indians find the 3rd out of the day and get out of this one? As that pitch goes high for a ball. 2-1 is your score. We're waiting the 1-0 pitch. Popped up. Stranisha's going to go underneath it and get it for the out. ICC rallies and gets the sweep of Gulf Coast with a win here in Game 2. Final score 2-1. What a day to be an ICC Indian, folks, as ICC wins it by the final score of 2-1 here in Game 2. We're going to take a break and come back with the Renaissance Bank postgame report right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza. Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into the Renaissance Bank postgame report. ICC picks up a 2-1 win to earn, and I say that with sincerity, earn the sweep of Gulf Coast. They won 3-1 in the first game of the day, pick up the win 2-1 here in Game 2. Let's take a look at today's final line scores for Gulf Coast. It was 1 run on 6 hits, 2 errors, and for ICC, 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. We welcome into the ICC Alumni Foundation and broadcast booth Madison Haley, and she's going to talk to us about today's Game 2 win.
Well, like I said, just like the first game, they never gave up. They came out with a whole lot of energy. And honestly, like I said, just being in the dugout, they had the want to come out today and just get that sweep. And hopefully we should be looking like what? We get the #1 spot?
Still tied with Jones.
Yep. Well, like I said, it was a great effort by the girls, and everybody just executed really well. The defense did super amazing. I know I was tweeting about every single dive and play that they had, and then the hits came to follow it. So
that's Madison Haley's with her post-game reaction. Of course, we'll hear more for her in some post-game interview. You can see that on our YouTube channel at Let's Go ICC on YouTube. Let's take a look at some Little Caesars final stats here, and let's start with Gulf Coast. Bailey Macy was 2 for 3 on the day with a walk. She had a double and a single. Brianna Shores was 0 for 2 on the day. She was hit by a pair of pitches, and she also drove in a run when she was hit by a pitch with bases loaded. Marche Hunt, she was 1 for 3 on the day. She also had a sacrifice bunt and a single. Cameron Williams, she was 0 for 3 on the day with a sacrifice bunt as well. It was Katie Beth Williams. She was 0 for 3 with a walk. She also reached on a fielder's choice. Kenzie Nichols was 1 for 3 with a walk. She had a single and was erased on a Little Caesars double play. Hannah Hembry, she was 0 for 2 on the day. She hit into that Little Caesars double play. She also walked. Betty Mingo was 0 for 2 on the day. She did reach on an error and also walked and scored a run. And then Caitlin McGooey, she was 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles. For ICC, it was Maddie Miney going 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Rachel Stranisha was 1 for 2. Sam Conley was 0 for 2. She did reach on a fielder's choice and steal a base. Summer Kreider was 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Macy Cox, one of our co-Sonic stars of the game, she was 2 for 2 with a walk and a run score. It was actually Lily Moore that scored the run for her running in that one. Casey Carpenter, she was 0 for 2 on the day, reached twice on a fielder's choice. And she also had a sacrifice bunt. Joanna Vasquez, she was 0 for 3 with a strikeout and reached on a fielder's choice. Jessica Davis was 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of fly balls. Maggie Smithy reached on an error in the 4th. And Hope Harbin was 0 for 2. She did reach on an error. Olivia Burns, she picks up her 16th win of the season. 17th win of the season. She improves to 17-4 with the win. Avery Sanders, tough day for her. What a great day she had pitching. She only gave up 3 hits, struck out 8. She did walk 3, and those two of those 3 walks did come back and haunt her, as both the runs for ICC came after drawing those walks. Well, that's going to do it here for Game 2. ICC picks up the sweep of Gulf Coast after winning the first game of the day by the final score of 3-1 and winning the nightcap 2-1 here in Fulton. Our next broadcast for ICC softball will be on the Red Channel. That'll be Thursday when Meridian comes to town for Sophomore Day. It's always a special day in Fulton whenever we can celebrate our sophomores and everything they've been able to do for our program. So ICC improves to 29-10-1, more importantly 19-3 inside conference play. Gulf Coast falls to 25-11, 17-5 in conference play. ICC and Jones, they're tied for first. Jones is 21-3 in the division. ICC 19-3. So those 3 losses have us tied there. So that's going to do it for today's broadcast. For Madison Haley, I'm Adam Gore saying have a blessed evening. And as always, Roll Tribe.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.